4 years ago, life took a turn I wasn't expecting when I got laid off from my engineering job. At first, that felt like a loss, like something was being taken away from me. But you know how the saying goes, when one door closes, another opens. That's how I ended up here, living on the road. For the past 4 years, I've been figuring out how to make van life work for me. And when you use a wheelchair, there are a lot of extra layers to think about. It's not just about finding the next campsite or cool destination. I ask the questions, is there space for me to park and get my wheelchair lift out? Will the trail become too narrow for my adaptive mountain bike? Is the shower actually accessible or just kinda sort of accessible? And then there's the medical side of having a spinal cord injury, knowing when to push my limits and when it's smarter to hold back. Sometimes my body can handle it, and sometimes it can't. Figuring out the difference isn't always easy. Most days, I'm used to life being a bit more complicated. Accessibility, health, it all comes with the territory. But some weeks it feels like I just can't catch a break. That's part of the story I share here on my channel. The wins, the moments where everything clicks, and the ones where it all falls apart. So if you're into real stories about navigating life's detours, you're in the right place. Hi.
Got a reservation?
I do, yeah.
For Lisa?
Yep.
Any gas or propane?
I have 2 1-pound propane tanks.
Head down lane 1.
And I have wheelchair loading on the passenger side.
Okay, so go down lane 1, stop at the stop sign,
Okay.
and let them know that you need elevator access on the main deck on the left-hand side. Advise once they park you.
Yeah.
So stop at the stop sign and just say, hey, I'm an oversized vehicle. I need access on the left-hand side for a wheelchair.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
At the ferry terminal, waiting to load. The vehicles from the previous one are coming off, and if you've ever been on a ferry with a vehicle, you know that they pack them in pretty tight, and the way they do it, I wouldn't have room to get out of my vehicle with my wheelchair lift, so I have to notify them as they're about to direct me into a lane, and then I also get this little tag that notifies them that I need like special consideration for my parking spot. So hopefully they'll be able to situate me right by the elevator, because like I'm on a special level because I'm also an oversized height vehicle, so I need that consideration, and then also room to get out on my passenger side. So far anytime I've been on a ferry, they've managed to do it, and I can get in and out of my vehicle, so hopefully it goes smooth again this time. Hi, so I need wheelchair access on my passenger side.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
If you want to go straight down, it's going to be lane number 3.
So right next to me, there's like the middle where the elevators are, and I'll be able to get out of my wheelchair there. Whew. Why am I on a ferry? Great question. So I just spent the last few weeks on Vancouver Island, and now I'm on the ferry to head back to the mainland in Canada, where I'll eventually end up at Squamish tonight. So Squamish is a great little mountain biking and mountain climbing community, and I'm gonna meet up with a bunch of other women, and we're gonna have a little adaptive mountain biking week, kind of a retreat that we've just organized on their own. I think there's 7 or 8 of us in total, all adaptive athletes with disabilities, all women. We're gonna do, I think, about 4 days of mountain bike riding and riding some like pretty downhill trails and stuff that, you know, I don't get to do a lot of. And then on the final day, we're actually all participating in a race. It's called the Loam Hustler, and it's the first time they've ever had like an adaptive division, and so we're gonna go represent, and yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm excited to get to know some more adaptive riders, and I think it's gonna be a really exciting week. I'm looking forward to it. And now I'm gonna go enjoy probably my last glimpses of the ocean for, you know, several months, at least 6 or 7 months. And then it's going to be a beautiful drive from the ferry terminal to Squamish. Let me know in the comments if you've ever driven the Sea to Sky Highway, because it's beautiful. I've driven it a few times, and you got nice ocean views, mountain views, and it's going to be right around golden hour. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this week.
People fading, living in the past, building castles, houses made of glass. Don't stop when you're looking, just keep looking for the rainbow. Ride the tide, keep on fighting, keep on trying when you feel low. Ooh, get it, ooh, set it, ooh, tell it. Not down, down, down. Ooh, get it, keep on looking for the rainbow.
I've arrived at the Airbnb. I'm gonna go, you know, get introduced to everybody, and it sounds like they're dealing with some unforeseen accessibility issues. They didn't realize there were some stairs to get into the actual house itself. So yeah, I think they're working on that right now. They got some local people helping out. This is what happens when you try to make an Airbnb accessible for 8 wheelchairs. Yeah.
I think you can. Did it. Nice.
We have a ramp. Yay! Ramp is done. Who gets to test it? I'm doing it.
Woo! Yeah. It was almost there.
Oh man.
Okay. We got all the way that way.
I don't know if I can really all the way down.
I had to hit that weight button. I was like, if not, I'm gonna fall forward. Okay, this is how to be respectful when you're renting an Airbnb and you have many wheelchair users. You take paint tape, I didn't know they made it that thick, and you put it on anything that can be scraped, such as door frames or tight corners. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but I am copying that from now on. Oh my god, hot water! Oh my Alex's face was so good.
I think we would break the CBC viewership record. There will be a warning. Viewers discretion is advised. Mature topics discussed.
In the background, somebody's like taking 3 tries at a ramp.
I had a really fun time last night getting to know all the other women, and now we are just loading and leaving the Airbnb. You can see we have all the adaptive mountain bikes in a trailer and on our own personal vehicles, and we're headed to the trailhead to get a day of riding in.
Roles and responsibilities. So riders, we are here to have fun, and we are pre-riding. The trail will be there tomorrow. For some of us, this is our first day back on the bike, early season, except for Ryan. She's been riding all year. So let's just take it cool and make sure that we're like feeling like in tune with the Squamish riding, and then we can open her up tomorrow.
Beautiful Squamish, British Columbia. Ooh, she's tight. Tight like a turtle.
I'm gonna send a picture to Ted. Oi. Okay, nice. Very
buddy. Woo! All right, it is day 3 of our little women's riding retreat, and everybody just left for the trails, but unfortunately, I'm not joining them. I had to make a really tough call this morning to sit out on today and maybe potentially the rest of the days of our retreat, and that's because last night I noticed something that was a little concerning. So, because of my spinal cord injury, I don't have feeling from my chest down, and that means I am susceptible to pressure sores. Let's say if people, if they're sitting for a long time, they just naturally shift their weight and move around a little bit when they have feeling in their body. You don't even realize you're doing it. And that's to avoid damage to the tissues. Now, because I don't have feeling in my body or my chest, I don't do that. And that can be a big issue when you are sitting in different positions, sitting on something hard, if there's like a pinch point with your clothing, just all these things can happen when you have a spinal cord injury, and it can lead to something called a pressure sore or pressure wound. And so I noticed that I had a big purple welt. Essentially, I think it's where the side guards, the side part of my bike seat, hits my underneath my thigh and around my hip area in a way. So I caught it very early, but I don't want to risk that getting any worse. It would eventually even open up, and then it's even harder if it's an open wound to heal, especially because I'm constantly sitting on my butt. And so I'm sitting today out. It might be a few days, especially because I have a lot of driving ahead of me in the coming week, and I'll again be sitting on my butt all day long. There's no way to avoid that. So I don't want things to worsen, and I'm deciding to be cautious and avoid getting a pressure sore. I spent about 6 hours on my bike the day before yesterday, and then yesterday is probably, I want to say a good 4 hours, and today is probably going to be a day, with a good another 3 to 4 hours at least. So I just don't want to mess around at all. I think with one more day of riding, that bruise would actually open up and create an open wound, and I just want to avoid that at all costs. Sadly, have known too many people that have had a pressure wound, and they've been on bed rest for months, even leading into years. It can get infected. It can even be fatal if things just don't heal and the infection spreads. So I'm just not gonna take any chances. I'm gonna get off this contusion I have and make sure that it doesn't worsen and stay on top of it, because I did catch it nice and early. So I actually reached out to a friend who also has a spinal cord injury and is, always looking for things like this as well. And I sent her a video of my butt cheek just to show the bruising, and you couldn't see anything but the purple spots, and she wholeheartedly agreed that the best call is to get off my butt as much as I can, not bike ride today. There's quite a small focal point where most of the damage is happening within that bruise itself, and that can get very dangerous very quickly. So what a great friend to have, to be able to trust her with sending a video, and you know, she totally gets it. I'm not embarrassed by it. So this is where I'll be for the time being, just taking things day by day, and hopefully getting off my wheelchair will give me better chance of recovery, get more blood flow and healing going to that spot that I'm worried about. All right, it's race day. So I'm healing up well, but I still don't want to be putting pressure on that bruise in my bike, but sitting in my wheelchair isn't making it any worse. So that's good news. And I think the plan for this morning is to go, see the girls that are in the race, send them off as they go climb up the course. And then as I come down, there's a few different segments. We're going to try to catch them at a couple different viewpoints. And then we're going to be there at the finish. I think there's a few of us that aren't racing, and we're going to go take pictures and cheer them on. So yeah, wish I was out there racing, but hey, at least I can be part of the cheer squad.
Yes.
Have fun! Be safe! See you at the bottom. Kick butt!
Make good decisions.
But send it, but still send it.
Send it.
See ya!
Good decision.
Say, so we're in a vehicle that Alex is driving. Yay! We're gonna rally up and try and catch them. The amazing race starting to the last leg, everybody!
Middle of the forest.
Oh, we got a bunch coming in.
Honestly, I have.
Yeah!
Not quite yet, but I will.
Sometimes the hardest part of living with a disability is knowing when to sit out. I could have pushed through this week, but I've learned the hard way that ignoring the little things can turn into big problems and fast. It's never worth it. So this week I decided to listen to my body. Even though I wasn't out there riding with everyone, it was still an incredible week, especially getting to meet other women who truly understand what I was dealing with. They supported me, checked in, and made me feel like part of the crew even from the sidelines. Cheering them on at the finish line, and let's be real, watching the carnage. There was plenty of carnage, was just as rewarding as racing. And the trail, it'll always be there. Next time, I'll be on it, because I made the smart decision this time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to keep a wheel. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of the video, and I wanted to give you an update on what has happened since filming that. So it has been 2 whole months since I shot that footage in Squamish. And first off, I want to say that the bruising that I had, it was all good. Getting off of it really saved me. I was back to normal activities within a few days and driving a lot. And yeah, it healed up with no problem. The bruising started to turn yellow, and I knew that I was not causing any damage just by sitting in my wheelchair. So yay for being proactive on that. Other thing that I want to talk about is what happened with the Airbnb after we left Squamish. So we checked out of the Airbnb. I left a day earlier than everyone, and then we got a 5-star review from the host, and about 2 weeks later we got an invoice from the Airbnb host for $5,200. Now he was claiming that there was $5,200 worth of damage in the Airbnb that everyone stayed at. The damaged items that he listed, I think, were scuffs on 2 toilets and a bathtub, something on a cabinet, and maybe possibly door frames. I can't remember all of them. Our group was just shocked to see that because, yeah, they were, as you can see, we put tape up on door frames. We were being very cautious. We weren't partying. We weren't breaking or damaging things, but he was charging us for normal wear and tear items. And yeah, obviously everybody was upset to see a bill for $5,200. This guy was just definitely out to get money wherever he could. Even before we arrived, the group had mentioned that there would only be, you know, up to 8 guests staying, including myself, on the driveway, which was, we were allowed 8 guests at the Airbnb. But they said that there might be a couple other people dropping by to help load the bikes and everything, people that were local and have their own places to stay. And he charged us, I think it was $100 per night per person that was, yeah, not even staying at the Airbnb. So he was obviously just trying to squeeze every single dollar he could out of our group. I think the one mistake that we did make was mentioning that we put up tape on the door frames and stuff, because I think that, you know, clicked in his head is like, oh, wheelchairs will damage things. And there were other things that he listed that, yeah, our wheelchairs couldn't even have reached to do that damage. And when we arrived at the Airbnb, there was like damaged tiles and things like that that we hadn't done, he had never fixed. So I really don't believe he was ever going to go replace toilets and bathtubs because of a little scuff mark. I personally am an Airbnb owner, and I never would have charged anything for the pictures that he sent. Like, that's just stuff that you expect as a rental property owner. I think this weighs really heavily on me because we have so many barriers for traveling. Just finding a place that would even reasonably suit 8 wheelchair users, and really it wasn't accessible. We had to build our own ramp. Was difficult. And then to be kind of singled out like this, like normal wear and tear that other guests would have easily caused, and then we're getting singled out because it's wheelchair users, and just anybody else, it probably would have been overlooked. That's what's really weighing heavily on me with this issue. So in the end, our group refused to pay the $5,200, but we offered what we thought was a reasonable small cost to fill in some trim that was damaged. And Airbnb accepted that. So I don't know if Airbnb liability coverage did reimburse them for more than what we paid, but I'd be really curious to see how they handled that on their end. I know it's really hard for you without seeing the pictures, but again, all of this stuff was cosmetic. Nothing was broken or damaged in a way that, you know, was really noticeable. But I would like to hear from you. Let me know in the comments if you think it's reasonable for him to expect us to pay $5,200 for some cosmetic scuffs and wear and tear, or if you think, you know, should be held responsible for that when, you know, everything still works. We are doing the best we could, and yeah, being really respectful of the property. So I'm absolutely curious to see what everyone else thinks about this situation. I'm sharing this just to, you know, show the reality of what it's like trying to travel as wheelchair users and all the barriers we face, even what some people might call ableism in this case, where this Airbnb owner saw an opportunity to squeeze a little extra money out and blame some damages on a bunch of wheelchair users. I'm getting back in the flow of editing footage from the last 2 months, so thanks for sticking with me. Make sure you subscribe so that you do catch up on the last few months and some big summer plans I have. Thanks for tagging along. Don't forget to keep it wheel, everyone.